Hello, everyone. I will be doing my final project on the Facebook Cambridge Analytica scandal. First, I will start off by introducing myself. My name is Deepak Kumar, and I'm a senior studying marketing at the Geese College of Business. On the agenda today, I will be breaking up my project into three categories: the overview of the case, the effects of the case, and recommendations/referendums that have been placed in an attempt to combat future tech-related security concerns. Before delving into the case, I wanted to show just how important and prevalent data breaches are in the United States. As you can see by the graphic, in 2019, data breaches hit an all-time high of 1,475,000. Although not as many people are getting exposed, it seems as though many companies are getting hit with hackers. Getting into the actual case now, here's a timeline showing the chain of events, starting with Facebook giving app developers right to access Facebook users and their friends' data in 2010. Then, in 2013, Cambridge professor Alexandra Kogan developed a personality app quiz called This Is Your Digital Life, which we will get into the mechanics behind the app in later slides. In 2015, Ted Cruz, former Republican running mate to Donald Trump in 2016 election, hires Cambridge Analytica, data and political consulting firm, to help with campaign. In 2016, the Trump campaign also utilizes Cambridge. In March 2018, everything becomes exposed. Facebook opens investigations on 200 apps suspended on data misuse. Zuckerberg appears in front of Congress in a 2-day hearing, and Cambridge gets caught. Just some quick facts. Facebook was longtime partners with the data firm Cambridge Analytica. A whistleblower that worked at Cambridge by the name of Christopher Weil came forward in 2018 in an attempt to expose the extent of the data firm's activities. Over 87 million Facebook users' personal information was hacked into an external app called This Is Your Digital Life, which was, as mentioned, made by Alexander Kogan, who later sold the data collected to Cambridge, allegedly without Facebook's knowledge. This image shows a breakdown of how the app gained access to millions of Facebook users. As you can see, if a Facebook user wanted to take the personality quiz, they would have to grant the company access to download through Facebook by clicking the Allow button. Once they clicked Allow, the quiz will gain access to not only the person taking the quiz, but also the person's Facebook friends as well. This is why only 270,000 took the quiz, but over 87 million people were hacked. Moving on to the facts of the case, it was noted that Cambridge has close ties to many political events, including the Trump and Cruz campaign, Brexit, and British oil company Lukoil. For timing purposes, we will only be focusing on the Trump election. One of the greatest advantages to the personality quiz was that it used the Ocean personality trait model, which helped put users into categories. With the data harvested by Cambridge Analytica, they were able to use the information towards the campaign by developing micro-targeted ads that would pop up on various social media outlets like Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, etc., and send customized messages directly to American voters, where the Trump campaign focused their attention on swing voters, which is one of the ways he got elected. I wanted to post this graphic just to show the severity of how interconnected this operation with Cambridge was with many super donors and randomized companies, as well as political adversaries. As you can see, people will do anything to get their political point across and stop at nothing to get their, which I find to be interesting and a little perplexed. The next slide is a video that talks about the aftermath of the incident, as well as what people had to say about the Facebook company as a whole.
Is another major setback for Facebook.
50% in 2 years. Many users understandably shaken.
So much has gone down with Facebook that my trust in the site is kind of scrapped.
You would think Facebook would have secure firewalls to prevent all that.
I feel like any website, like, I wouldn't trust fully because there's a chance that it can be hacked. Yeah, that's scary.
According to Zuckerberg, whose own account was compromised in the latest breach, the vulnerability has been patched and all of the affected accounts were logged out. All you have to do is log back in.
And we will also notify these people in a message on top of their news feeds about what happened when they log back in.
It's been a tough 2 years for the social media giant, which was investigated by the FTC and the FBI when the political consultancy firm Cambridge Analytica gained access to the data of 87 million users, that prompting an apology from Zuckerberg to Congress.
It was my mistake, and I'm sorry. I started Facebook, I run it, and at the end of the day, I'm responsible for what happens here.
This morning, a new blow to Facebook as it struggles to regain the trust of its users again.
So, Miguel, is
Another major setback for.
These next two graphics outline just how quick and substantial the company was impacted by the incident. As you can see on the left graphic, Facebook shares went to an all-time low on the weekend of the incident and never really reaches to what it was before the incident occurred. The bar graph shows 37% of 521 social media users that say that they were negatively affected by the incident and feel like the lack of security is what made them not want to join Facebook or use it less. Moving on to recommendations and referendums. After the hearing in front of Congress, Facebook had to make major drastic changes, starting with cutting ties with Cambridge and implementing new privacy and security measures. Facebook was able to come up with the bulk app detection tool, which is a function added to their privacy settings that makes it easier for users to take control of their data and protect their personal information from third-party apps. Without the consent of the people, Facebook and third-party apps cannot access any information about what you like, comment, and share on the platform. Facebook is also being monitored by the FTC, which is there in favor of the people for any security-related decisions that Facebook makes or changes. And Facebook is even going as far as to flagging political propaganda on their platform, which I find to be refreshing in this day and age. To conclude my presentation, some concepts discussed in class that are relevant to this briefing are big data benefits. Large corporations like Facebook are able to make profits off of selling information without the consent of the people. We have discussed how this is becoming more and more prevalent in modern day America and how government affiliation is needed to combat this issue. Other concepts include the importance of platforms, monitoring, social media, etc. As technology advances, security issues and foreign interference in general elections have to be monitored. And something to look forward to that ties perfectly to this case that will be taking effect in 2021 is the first ever major privacy law in California called the California Consumer Privacy Act. This landmark law secures new privacy rights for California consumers and hopefully inspires other states in the country. It includes 4 major practices: the right to know, the right to delete, the right to opt out, and the right to non-discrimination of personal information that a major business collects. You are finally able to legally defend your privacy in the court of law in California, which I find to be fascinating. We are moving in the right direction. With that being said, I hope we keep seeing tech companies being held accountable, and I end my presentation here. Thank you for your time.